Okay, 5 males with a particular genetic disorder have 1 child each. The random variable x is the number of children among the 5 who inherit the genetic disorder. Determine whether the table describes a probability distribution. If it does, find the mean standard deviation. So recall what you have to do. All these values here for probabilities have to be between 0 and 1. The sum of these, when we add them up, these probabilities, needs to be 1. I'll let you do that. They do. So you can always, on all these, of course, we're in chapter 5 by now, you can see a view, an example on this, right? And watch these. They generally do the by hand technique on these. So sometimes we don't want to do that. I wish they would include both, but they don't. So what we're going to do, and this shows you how to compute the standard deviation and the mean. Kind of a pain if you ask me, and I'm good at these things. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use both StatCrunch and the TI. So we're going to do StatCrunch first. So first click the little button to open it in StatCrunch. Okay, now we're going to go to Stat, Calculators, and Custom. This is not one of the more intuitive things that you can do with StatCrunch. This is a custom calculation. So our values are in x, and the weights are in p of x. Press Compute. And it actually gives us a graph too. So this is a graph of that distribution. So we have a mean of 3.4498 and a standard deviation of 1.0344. And you can find, later on they may ask you what's the probability that something is less than 4, and you can compute that. So that's what this is, less than, greater than, or equal to. Okay, or you can do between 2 values. Not that big a deal when you only have 6 numbers, but when you have 15, 20 numbers, it is a nice little calculator to have. So I hope that helps. Let's flip over to the TI. Okay, so similarly, we're going to go to Stat and Edit. And I'm going to put the x values into L1 and then the probabilities into L2. So I'm just going to clear all these out. I just scroll up and press Clear. And Enter. Okay, so we started with 0 and then 1. Now let's put in the probabilities. Okay, now we're looking good. Let me go to the home screen and go back to Stat, and we want to calculate. And we're going to do a 1 variable statistic. Now you can't just press Enter here. If you do, well, here we have my list as L3. So we can do my list L1, but you have to do frequency list L2 and press Calculate. So notice we get exactly the same thing. Let me pull this away. Mean of 3. So it looks like I made an error. I bet a lot of you caught it. Let me come back here. It was not the same. So it's 0.0029. Was not reading carefully enough. Now let's try this again. Stat, calc, 1 variable statistic. Now if yours does not have this menu, just press L1, comma L2. That looks better, doesn't it? Yes. So now we have the same mean and the same standard deviation of 1.0344.